In this video, I'll be showing a bit about how I created my digital bullet journal spreads and then go into how I use them on the Concepts app. I started using a digital bullet journal at the end of August last year in 2020. I use the app Concepts, which is a free app, but I have bought a couple add-ons that only costed $1 or $2. I can't remember exactly which ones, but point is that it's free. Concepts is cool because you can have different notebooks and then drawings within it. I have a notebook called BuJo, and it contains pages like my journal, script, my bullet journal of course, vision and bucket list, and some other pages. I love how much flexibility there is with this app. I also have an Apple Pen. This is just the version 1, but it makes it really easy to write and draw. You'll see me refer to my old bullet journal sometimes in this video, and that's because that's where I planned out what my spreads are gonna look like and which spreads I'm going to do. I used ProCreate to create the spreads. This app was about $10, but it's totally worth it since it's just a one-time purchase, and you can do so much with this app. I took my old daily spread, which initially came from Dawson Russell's Life Journal sample. Initially last year, I didn't change it at all because I didn't know what would work for me and what I wanted, and I also just didn't want to take the time to do it. But now that we're going into a new year, and I've been doing this for a few months now, I have an idea of what I want, and it's a good time to start something new. I'm just going to adjust it to fit what I want this year. I'm erasing some things that didn't work for me and moving things around to put it where I think makes the most sense for how I use this. I decided to track my sleeping and if I do my morning routine, exercise, and reading. I made this a long box, that way I can write what I did instead of just coloring in a box. I didn't record the rest of making it like this because that would have been a lot of footage. I'm still kind of a noob at ProCreate still, so this took me quite a while. So here are the time lapses of me making these, which is a feature part of ProCreate. Here's the daily spread, which you can see it a lot better now with the time lapse. So at the top I have the dates, then I have the things I want to track and my mood, and then my daily schedule and some additional notes and my goals to focus on. It's really cool too to see my layouts that I made last year come to life digitally too. Next, I made the video Kanban board, which I sort of used in my normal bullet journal, but I didn't quite use it, but I thought it would still be really cool and useful to have in my digital bullet journal. This is my month goals tracker, and it looks pretty much the same as how I did it in my physical bullet journal. I drew a little flower, and then I had all the months laid out, and I put what I wanted to focus on. One thing that I did change with this is that instead of putting the goals out randomly, instead I did it quarterly, where I would focus on one goal for 3 months at a time, which I hope is more helpful this year to achieve more goals. This is my gratitudes page, and this again looks just like how I did in my physical bullet journal because I really liked how it was. And this is my things I learned this year. I did my year goals pretty much the same as I did in my physical bullet journal again, where I write the main goal that I want to do, and then I write the habits or the tasks that I need to do to be successful in those goals. I also did my YouTube tracker again, just to see some of my growth for this year. Here is the yearly overview. I just took a picture from the internet and then I just moved it around. And this is my small milestone spread. I used a gratitude layout and then I extended it so that it could include everything that I wanted. If you're interested in getting download images of these spreads, I'll have a link in the description for you to fill out a form to have them emailed to you. So those are the main spreads that I'm using this year, and now I'll just go into how I implemented them on Concepts. So I pasted them all in one page, or drawing is what it's called on Concepts. I put my vision board on there, which I also made in ProCreate. have a 2021 bucket list, which I wrote things down that would be really cool to do this year, but they're not exactly big goals that I want to achieve. I put my word of the year, which is courage. And if you zoom in really close, I doodled these little dudes on them. And to the right side, I put what exactly that means to me. Here is the things I learned this year. I already have 2 things. Side note, I'm currently recording this voiceover February 8th. So yeah, it's been quite a while since I initially started this video. January has been quite a busy month, but finally getting back into the flow of things. Next, I have my gratitudes again, monthly, and then there are my monthly goals. I rated myself 2 for my goal. For January, I didn't get quite as far as I wanted. My smallest milestones, I actually did hit a lot of milestones. I kind of put it as an expectations versus reality. So everything that I hope to achieve, I put in the black ink at the top. And then once the month is over, I'm gonna write where it's at actually for that month. Here's the 2021 overview, and I haven't really made a system yet, but I just highlight the dates that have something planned, and then to the right, I note what is planned for those days. To go into it, I'm zooming in a bit more. And next I have my year goals, and as you can see, I've filled in some bubbles already, which is always a good feeling. There's my video Kanban. I made an idea pool above it, and then next to it I also put the order of the videos I want to do and then what I completed. And what's cool about concepts is that you can highlight anything that you draw and move that around with the cursor tool. I think this might have been what one of the add-ons was. Right next to it I have my YouTube tracker, and I also made a small list about my rewards when I hit some milestones. And now for the daily spreads. As you can see, I have all the months laid out right next to each other. I wrote the month names on the right side of the spreads, and as we zoom in, I have my mood tracker definitions, and I fill in the colors on the daily spread, as you can see. And it's kind of nice because when you zoom out, you can see all the colors. I have my common Hmong phrases, which I'm trying to implement a little bit more. To the right, I have a little bit more about all the goals that I want to achieve and things I want to do in those goals. I also put what I want my purpose to be for what I do. I also just threw in a little ideal schedule and morning routine and also shower routine. As I zoom in closer, you can kind of see how I create my layouts. I block out the time that I work, since I do work a day job. And then besides that blocked out time, I have checklists of things I want to get done. The times can be specific or they cannot be specific. It's just a general layout usually. And to the left side of each week, I have a weekly check-in. I had this on a separate drawing page before, but I think I'll remember to use it a lot more if it's on the actual bullet journal itself. So I've moved it on to here. And next to that, I have the to-do list, and I use the high, medium, low method again. I forgot exactly what that's called. And let's see what else. This month I'm trying to remember a memory verse, so I have laid it out like that, where I just put the first letter of the word. I also put a brief rundown about my focuses, about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'll feel once it's done. What's also kind of cool is I can just put random notes on the side. As you can see here, I have that random note, which are just possible plans for my birthday later this month. To go into depth about how I fill out my daily spreads, I'll zoom in a little bit closer here. I have the initial of the day of the week at the top, so in this case it's Friday the 5th, and then I note down my sleeping hours, the exercise I do, if I read, what book I read, if I do read something, and then my mood tracker, as you can see on the left with the yellow blob. And then I fill out my gratitudes and my today's top 3, which doesn't always get filled out every day, but it's nice to have it there as a reminder. If I am grateful for anything that day, I can write it down, but it's not something that I push myself to do every day. And as you can see from the schedule, I have check boxes of what I want to do in just a general time. And then I have my work and things I do in between. I also started noting my food and my water intake on the right side of the schedule. For my water intake, I'm just drawing a little water cup, kind of cute, and add some visual to my daily spreads. Under my goal areas to the right side, I write down things that I want to do that day and will hopefully have time to do. This is how I've been using my digital bullet journal so far. I've been loving having it digitally. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it inspired some new ideas for you too.